Hi, in this session we'll be discussing the solution techniques of higher order ordinary differential equations. Okay, so here actually this will be an extension of the methods which you have already discussed in second order differential equations. So in particular second order linear differential equations with constant coefficients. Okay, so be it homogeneous or non-homogeneous. Okay, so we'll actually extend those methods which you have devised there to higher order ODEs. So no new techniques would be there. All the techniques you know from second order only. So this will only be a summary class only. Okay, so because you know all the methods there, so no new methods are being introduced for higher order ODEs. Only thing is that you're just extending those methods from second order to higher order only. Okay, so if you know those methods, you can easily understand this section. Okay, so this will be a very short session because already you know every method. Okay, so so already we know how to find the general solution of a second order homogeneous and non-homogeneous linear equations with constant coefficients. Okay, so now we will be discussing um, higher order homogeneous and non-homogeneous linear equations with constant equations. Okay, so when you consider so I'll only consider non-homogeneous equations here because the solution of homogeneous equation is already contained in the solution of non-homogeneous linear equation. Why? Because when you try to find the general solution of a non-homogeneous linear equation, you know that the general solution is of the form y is equal to Cf plus Pi. So this Cf is actually the solution of homogeneous equation. So we need not discuss the solution of homogeneous equation again, because when we discuss the solution of non-homogeneous equation itself, it will contain the solution of homogeneous equation. So there is no need to repeat the topics once and again. Okay, so we'll only be discussing the solution of non-homogeneous linear equations with constant coefficients. Okay, and as you know, it contains two parts. One is Cf, or the yh part, that is the solution of homogeneous equation, plus yp, which contains the number of arbitrary constants. So if it is a if it is second order equation, your yh will contain two arbitrary constants. If it's a third order equation, your yh will contain three arbitrary constants, and so on. So usually you will get only third order or fourth order equations, not any more than. Usually you will be getting third order differential equations. Sometimes they can also ask fourth order also. Okay, depends upon the question. Okay, usually they will give you only third order. Okay, so as you know, it will have two parts. First step is you have to find the Cf. In order to find the Cf, what will you do? You will write the corresponding auxiliary equation and solve for m or lambda, whatever it may be. And when you get the roots, you will write the corresponding solution. That's one method. Okay. So once we have found the Cf, next step is you have to find the Pi, or particular interval, the particular solution. For that, what you will do is that you have two methods we have devised there. What were there? One was method of undetermined coefficients, and second one was method of variation of parameters. According to your syllabus, you only have to study method of undetermined coefficients. So if before watching this video, be sure that you already know what do you mean by method of undetermined coefficients. I'll just share the link in the description. Only if you have gone through that video, you will understand the methods which we are going to discuss here, because we will be straightly carrying forward the method of undetermined coefficients from the earlier section to here itself. So only if you understand undetermined coefficients, you will understand this section. So if you have not clear with the concepts, go back to the previous video and try to go through the video once again. After you understand that, come back to this video. Okay, so the assumption is that you know the method of undetermined coefficients. Okay, so here the difference between the second order and higher order is that you will have, actually, since this will be the auxiliary equation will be a higher order one, so you will have more roots. Only that difference is there. Rest everything is same. Okay, suppose you have a third order auxiliary equation, you will have three roots. Okay, and if you have fourth order one, you will have four roots. Only that is the difference. Rest everything is just the same. Okay, so as I told you, we will only be discussing the method of undetermined coefficients, and also we will only discuss non-homogeneous equations. Okay, so I'll just run through it. So I am going to write the general form of a higher order equations. Okay, so this is the general form of a higher order non-homogeneous equation with constant coefficients. Okay, so it is of an nth order one, so it's an nth order equation. Okay, so this Pn minus 1x, Pn minus x, all these are all constants for us. So we only have to study the case for constant coefficient case. Okay, so this is the general form. So that you know that you have to find the general solution of this. So you have to find a value of y which satisfies this, the general solution. So it will contain n arbitrary constants. Okay, it will contain n arbitrary constants. Usually you will deal with only third order or fourth order. Okay, more than that they will not ask. Maximum they will ask only third order. Okay, so the first step is you have to, so the solution is actually of the form yh plus yp, or in other words, it is actually of the form Cf plus Pi. So it will have two parts. The first part you have to find Cf, that is the solution of the associated homogeneous equations. In the first step, you will write the corresponding homogeneous equation, and then we will try to find the general solution of that by writing the auxiliary equation and solving for m. Okay, that is the method. Okay, so as I told you, it contains two methods. So what is this? And when so first part let me discuss to you. So let us try to understand the first part. The first part is we have to find CF. Okay, so when you write the auxiliary equation, in this case, since this is higher order, you will have more than two roots. Okay, suppose you are getting three roots. Okay, suppose you are getting roots as m1, m2, m3. Okay, then what will be the general solution? Just like second order case, the general solution will be simply c1 e raised to m1 plus c2 e raised to m2 plus c3 e raised to m3. Okay, provided these are different. Okay, suppose all of them are same. Okay, in that case, just like second order equation, it will be like c1 e raised to c1 e raised to m1x here, sorry, here m2x, m3x. Okay, don't forget x. Okay, so if suppose all these m's are the same, so it will be simply c1 e raised to mx plus c2 x into e raised to mx plus, since there are three roots, it will be c3 x square into e raised to mx. So you can actually carry over this concept. So if there are four equal roots, there will be a c3 x cube e raised to mx also. Okay, in suppose you have two roots as same, suppose your there are two roots which are same and another root which is different. Okay, in that case also this usual idea we can take it over. So the first root I will write as c1 e raised to mx plus second one is c2 e raised to mx, but already I have introduced mx here, so I will put an x here. Okay, plus c3 e raised to m1x. That's the only difference. I hope it is clear. Okay, suppose this will not be there, but still I am asking, suppose there are three roots which are same and one root which is different. So what will be the case there? Then also go like that itself. That will be the first root will be c1 e raised to mx plus c2 x e raised to mx. Now we have accounted for two roots again, plus c3 x square into e raised to mx plus once more c4 e raised to m1x. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Okay, so for example, suppose your roots are 1, 1, 2, 3. So how will you write the general solution? It will be simply c1 e raised to x plus c2 x into e raised to x, because already you have accounted for 1, 1 there. So again plus c3 e raised to 2x plus c4 e raised to 3x. I hope it is clear. Okay, suppose you are getting three equal roots as 1 and then as 3. What will it be? It will be c1 e raised to x plus c2 x e raised to x plus c3 x square e raised to x plus c4 e raised to 3x. Okay, now if there are different roots, it's very easy. You just write as if in the second order. If the roots are simply 1, 2, 3, 4, you know how to write it. It will be simply c1 e raised to x plus c2 e raised to 2x plus c3 e raised to 3x plus c4 e raised to 4x. Okay, so both the cases are covered, all the combinations are covered here. Okay, suppose you have complex roots. Okay, suppose you have complex roots. For example, your roots are maybe 1, 1, then 1 plus or minus 3. So what will be the case there? There also you will write as if you write the case of second order equation itself. So here it will be like c1 e raised to x plus c2 x e raised to x plus, for this one I will write it as e raised to x into, so when it is a plus or minus bi, it will be e raised to x into some constant into some c1 into cos bx plus c2 into, so the same thing will be carrying over here. Already I have used c1 and c2, so I will write this as e raised to x into c3 into cos x plus c4 into sin x. Okay, it's very simple thing. Okay, suppose your complex roots are being repeated. Okay, so your 1 plus 3 plus or minus 3i has been repeated 2 times. Okay, so in that case also, again for that also, so first you will write it like this: c1 e raised to x is there, c2 x e raised to x is there, this one is there. Again one more factor of this will be there, that is e raised to x into c5 cos x plus c6 sin x will be there, but there is a possibility of these two factors combining. So just like the equal roots case, I will put an x here also. Okay, so even if complex roots are repeated, you can actually account for the general solution by putting an x there. So if the complex roots are repeated 3 times, there will be x square also there. So if you understand the idea of equal roots, it's very easy to write down all the conditions in which roots are there. So this is the idea of CF. I hope it is clear how to write the CF. So the first step is write down the complementary, to find the complementary function, write down the homogeneous equation, then write the auxiliary equation, find its roots. Okay, and one more thing I have to say, finding the roots, already you know how to find the roots when you have studied linear algebra. You have, in last semester you have studied linear algebra, in that you have to find the eigenvalue, so you know how to find the roots there. So you can use your traditional methods to find roots. 2 methods are there. One is, the easiest method is you can use your scientific calculator to find the roots. Okay, so if you want to know it, you can just look Google, you will understand many videos in which they will tell you how to find the roots using a scientific calculator. That's one method. Second method is by trial and error method. I will explain it for you. So for examination purpose, you just go for scientific calculator because it will save time for you. But I will also tell you the direct method also for you to understand. Okay, so this is a table in which the different cases of complementary function are written. So just as I explained, you can just look at this. If there is one real root, it will be like this. Two real and different roots, it will be like this. Three real, and so all the cases are been explained here. Please go through it. Okay, so it's very simple. So once this is the first step, writing the CF. Okay, now to find the PI, just like if you know the undetermined coefficients, it's the same thing only. You look at the RHS, your particular solution will be assumed to be of the form of RHS. You will write the particular solution just like that. Okay, so that is there. And also there will be two complications also is there. When we discuss undetermined coefficients, the RHS may contain two functions. For example, it may contain some e raised to 2x plus x square. So you have to write the factor corresponding to e raised to 2x, and also you need to write the factor corresponding to x square also. Okay, so please go through the video on undetermined coefficients to understand it better. It is called the sum rule. Okay, and also there can be modification rules also can come, because in sometimes your RHS may contain some contain a factor of the general solution. Okay, suppose your general solution contains e raised to x and your RHS also contains e raised to x. So you have to remember the modification rule which you have discussed in the undetermined coefficient video. What's the modification rule? So if there is an e raised to factor x factor in the CF, what will you do? In order to prevent it from combining with the RHS, what will you do? I'll assume that solution is of the form x e raised to x. So only that is there. So suppose e raised to x has appeared 2 times in the CF, what will you do? I'll use here x square e raised to x. So that's the only difference there. So we'll discuss a problem related to that. So if you know the concept of undetermined coefficients, you can easily understand this method also. So no new concepts are being introduced. Just go through the video of undetermined coefficients, then you will understand the method here also. So you are just looking at the RHS and then you are writing down the particular solution. Okay, so we'll do one problem now. So this is the same table which you are discussing in the earlier class. Suppose your RHS contains e raised to 2x. You will assume the solution is of the form a e raised to 2x. Suppose your RHS is a nth degree equation, you will write the general nth degree equation here, and similarly for cos x and everything. So already all these tables, this is the same table which you had discussed in the undetermined coefficient case. So that's the same table will be carried forward here. Okay, so nothing new is there. If you understand second order equations, you can do the higher order equations also. So we will illustrate this method using a simple problem now. So okay, so let us look at this problem here. Y double dash plus 3y double dash plus 3y dash plus y. So I am taking an initial value problem itself, so it will have initial conditions. So we will make use of these conditions after we find the general solution. Okay, so just forget it for now. Now we will try to find the solution. Okay, so look at this equation now. So you know that the solution will contain two parts, that is y is equal to CF plus PI. Okay, to find CF, what will you do is that you write the corresponding homogeneous equation, which is nothing but y triple dash plus 3y double dash plus 3y dash, okay, plus y is equal to 0. Now write the corresponding homogeneous equation, which is nothing but m cube plus 3m square plus 3m plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so if you look closely, it is actually of the form so m plus 1 the whole cube is equal to 0, or you can use your scientific calculator to find the roots, or the straightforward method or the longer method is what will do is that you will actually guess a solution. Okay, so by trial and error method, you can guess a solution. Okay, so how will you guess a solution? You just put m is equal to 0 and see whether it satisfies this equation. If it satisfies this equation, it means it is a root of that equation. Okay, or so if it is a root of, so here if I put m is equal to 0, I will be getting it as 1, so that means 0 does not satisfy, so this is not a root. Okay, so if 0 doesn't work, go for m is equal to 1. If 1 doesn't work, go for m is equal to minus 1. If minus 1 does not work, go for 2 minus 2. So like that you can check and systematically, and you can find a root by trial and error. But this method is tedious. Okay, so that is the direct method. So I will just check it out. So I'll check for 1. If I substitute 1 also, it will not be 0. Now when I substitute minus 1, what will happen? It will be minus 1 plus 3 minus 3 plus 1, which is 0. That means m is equal to minus 1 is a solution. That means m plus 1 is actually a fact of this equation. Okay, so m plus 1 is actually, so this equation could be written as m plus 1 into some quadratic equation. Okay, that is the idea. Okay, so now what you will do is that to find, so there are three, since this is a third degree equation, it will have 3 roots. You have already found one root. To find the next root, what you will do is that you will divide this equation by this factor m plus 1. So how will you divide it? So you already know it. it is m cube plus 3m square plus 3m plus 1. I am going to divide it by this m plus 1 like the usual division process. So I will divide it. So to make it m cube, I should multiply by m square. So it is simply m cube plus m square. So subtracting, it will be 2m square plus 3m plus 1. Again you need 2m square there, so supply 2m there. So it will be again 2m square plus 2m there. So when you subtract, you will be getting it as m plus 1 there. So when you have to supply 1 there, so we will be getting m plus 1. So the final answer is 0. Okay, that means this could be written now as m plus 1 into m square plus 2m plus 1. That is simply m plus 1 the whole cube. That means the roots are simply minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 3 times. Okay, so that is the direct method to find it out, but it is actually tedious, so don't use this method. You always go for scientific calculator methods, because you can carry scientific calculator for your examination, so it is easier to find it using that method. If that doesn't work, you can use this. You can find these methods on YouTube also, how to use a scientific calculator to find the roots, so that will be easier for you, because this process don't carry at most the root finding will carry only 1 mark. So for that 1 mark, there is no need to waste space and time like this. Okay, just use your scientific calculator to find the roots. Okay, so once you have found the roots, now we can write this CF. What is CF? Now minus 1 has been repeated 2 times, 3 times. So what will be the CF? The CF will be simply YH will be simply C1 e raised to minus x plus C2 x into e raised to minus x, because already minus x has been repeated here, plus C3 x square into e raised to minus x. So that is how you write the CF. Okay, so that's it. So we can combine it like this. Okay, now we are going to find the PI. Okay, so in order to find the PI, we are going to guess the PI by the method of undetermined coefficient. Okay, so you know that the RHS is given by e raised to minus x, so I can assume that the particular integral is of the form a into e raised to minus x. But there is a problem here, because already there is a factor of e minus x in the CF, so I can't assume e raised to minus x. I'll just assume e raised to minus x into x is the solution. But that is also not the case, because already there is a factor of x e raised to minus x there, so I will go for x square. Again there is a factor of x square there, so I'll have to go for the next one, which is simply x cube. Okay, so I'll assume that the solution is of the form a e raised to minus x into x cube. Okay, this is from the modification rule which you have studied from the undetermined coefficient. So just remember, your RHS is of the form e raised to minus x, so your solution should be of the form a into e raised to minus x. Okay, but the problem here is that already there is a factor of e raised to minus x in your CF, so I can't use that, so I'll go for a e raised to minus x into x. Again there is a factor of x into e raised to minus x there also, so I'll go for x square into e raised to minus x. Already there is a factor of x square e raised to minus x also, so I'll go for the next one, the next bigger one, which is e raised to x into x cube, and then I'll substitute this into the equation. I'll substitute this value into the equation. Okay, for that I should know what is y dash, I should know what is y double dash and y triple dash. So just find it out, substitute it, and then compare the coefficients and then find the value of a. Okay, so for y dash, so it will be, you have to use product rule here. So it will be for y dash, what will be the value? Y dash will be a into e raised to minus x into 3x square minus a e raised to minus x into x cube. Okay, that is y dash. Similarly find y double dash, y triple dash, and substitute everything into this. Okay, I have done it for you. So this is the value of y dash, y double dash and y triple dash. And once you have found all these things, you can substitute into this equation and then simplify it. So I'll just substitute all these factors. So you just find it out yourself and find the value of y double dash and y triple dash, and then we'll substitute this into the given equation and we'll be getting this. So once you substitute in the given equation, and when you simplify by just cancelling out this e raised to minus x, you will be ultimately getting this value. You can just check it out. This is the value. I am not elaborating it here because it's very straightforward. Thoroughly, all the things are here. Just substitute it and just cancel out e raised to minus x and ux. You'll get this. Now you can compare the coefficients on both sides and you can find the value of this. You need to find the value of this c here. Okay, so instead of a, they have taken c. It's no use, no issue. You can take any constant please. So you need to find the value of c. So looking at the coefficient, you can see that in the RHS there is only a single constant value which is 30. So what is the constant value in LHS? The constant value in LHS is 6c is there. This is not a constant value. This is not a constant value. Is there any other constant value which contains C alone? No, nothing is there. So only one constant value 6C. So it is simply 6C is equal to 30. You are just comparing the coefficients on both sides. Here the coefficient of x cube in RHS is actually 0. So your coefficient of x cube in this one will be simply 3C minus 3C plus C. So it will be like that. So it will be coefficient of x cube will be 3C minus 3C plus C, and here also there is a minus C in the first term also. Okay, so here also the coefficient of x cube is 0, so it is balanced. So everything can check it out, everything will be cancelling out, only thing you will be getting is say. So if you look at x square also, you can check it out, it will become 0 itself, the coefficient. Okay, and when you look at the constant one, it is simply 6C is equal to 30, so you will get the value of C is equal to 5. So the value of C is equal to 5, so your particular integral is of form 5x cube into e raised to minus x. So if you want, you can compare the coefficient of x square also if you have any doubts. So what's the coefficients of x square here? It is actually 9C is there, and similar here there is minus 18C is there, and here you have again plus 9C square is there, 9C is there. So this will also be 0. So the coefficient of x cube is 0, x square is 0, x is 0. Only thing which will be remaining when you simplify is simply 6C, which is equal to 30. So the value of C is simply 5. You can just verify. Okay. So you have got the final solution. So now we can write the final solution. So what's the final solution now? Hence the final solution is y is equal to C1 e raised to minus x plus C2 x into e raised to minus x plus C3 x square into e raised to minus x. This is your CF plus this one, which is 5x cube into e raised to minus x. Okay. Now the question which we are asked was a initial value problem. So they have given you the value of y of 0 and y dash of 0, y double dash of 0, and even y triple dash of 0. I think I don't know it's y triple dash, so I'll just check it out. So these things were given to you, so you can use the values. You can look at this one and substitute the value of c, this 0, y dash. You have to find y dash, you have to find y double dash and y triple dash. Some work would be there, and you can substitute this value of 0 and compare the coefficients, and then you can find the value of this c1, c2, c3. So I don't think y triple dash is so only these things over there. So you need to find the value of y is already there. You need to find the value of y dash. You also need to find the value of y double dash and substitute it there, and you find the value of c1, c2 and c3. I have given the work for you. So this is the value of this. So this is your y, this is your y dash, y double dash. You can just check it out by simple differentiation only. Just check out these things, and then you substitute the value of y of 0. Y of 0 was 3, and y dash of 0 was minus 3. Y double dash of 0 was minus 47. So we can just substitute the values there by putting x is equal to 0, and then when you compare, you will get the value of c1, c2 and c3. Okay, it's a very straightforward thing. So that is the initial value problem. Okay, so this once you have found the value, you can write the final solution like that. Okay, so I hope the method is clear to you. How to find the method? I hope all the methods are clear to you. Okay, so this was the problem. So that contains two steps. You need to find the value of CF plus PI. So in order to find the CF, first you have to write the homogeneous equation. Okay, once you write the homogeneous equation, find the roots of the auxiliary equation and write down the CF. Okay, that's the first step. Okay, so that we are done here. So once you have written the CF, you have to find the PI. We are using the method of undetermined coefficients here. So you are looking at the RHS, then you have to write the PI. Since the RHS is e raised to minus x, your solution will be of some constant e raised to minus x only. But since there is a factor of e raised to minus x here, by modification rule from undetermined coefficient, you have to go back to the video. So from the modification rule of the undetermined coefficients, we can write down the value of the particular integral. In this case, it will be simply x cube into e raised to minus x, because already you have taken up e raised to minus x, x e raised to minus x, and also x square e raised to minus x. So you assume that solutions of form c into x cube into e raised to minus x. So from that assumption, you write the value of yp. From that you can take yp dash, yp double dash, yp triple dash, and then you can substitute back into the equation to find the value of the c, which was 5. From that you will get the final solution, which is simply 5x cube into e raised to minus x. So I hope it is clear. Okay, so once you get the final solution, now we can find the solution for IVP by just substituting the values there. So they have given you the value of y of 0, y dash of 0, y double dash of 0. So you need to find what is y dash and also y double dash. You can find it by simple differentiations, routine work. So once you have found out the values, then you can substitute the value of x is equal to 0 to find the value of those arbitrary constants also to obtain the final solution to this problem. Okay, so as you know, nothing new was taught to you. All these methods you have known. Only difference is you will be getting more number of roots here. Okay, rest everything is just the same like second order. So please be clear with second order equation and then try to do all these problems. So I think that's the end of your second module, and now a small topic is left, that is I think it is about existence and the uniqueness condition. So I'll do that video also, it just takes 5 minutes only. So I'll take that do that video also for the next session. Okay, so you can try out these problems. Okay, so that's it. I'll share the link of the undetermined coefficients in the description also, or you can just, this is the playlist also. So that's it. So we'll stop it here. Okay, thank you.